Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. As I told you before, yeah, I have done what we call my video this morning. And what happened, it's muting, and I also post in your group, right? So, mashallah, I really, really, I really frustrated to myself, but at the same time, I believe that there must be in nama al usri usra, right? I believe there will be some like rahmat beside the my test. I think that today is quite challenging for me, but it's okay. I believe that because I testing many times before I record yours. So I hope that this one mashallah will be recorded. I do that 1 hour and half, you know. I feel like I want to cry because I keep Husnuzul say, oh, it's much like a cross culture subject. There must be audio. After I convert into YouTube, there must be audio. MashaAllah. There's no audio after all. Ya Allah. Okay, so it's okay. We just proceed. If you hear my storytelling, there will be no other on the end of the day. So let's just we move on and proceed to our topic today. My topic two, okay, today which is cultural spheres of the influence. As you can see, again I have to give salam alaikum and very good day to my all cross culture students. Okay, without further ado, let's we check what is the learning outcomes for this topic. The first one, by the end of these topics, the learner should be able to, number one, we will define and explain the cultural spheres of the influence which is exist in the cross culture management. Okay, so when we're talking about the cross culture spheres, it means that how does the culture spheres influence will be interact in a very complex ways, and how the business be doing in the foreign countries. For example, like in France, okay, they have the pharmaceutical business culture, which is very different from the tire producers such as Michelin. So Michelin is being produced in Japan. So different location and types of industry in France have different business culture and practices, although they are in the same country. So yeah, even though as you know, Michelin is come from Japan country, but whereby you do in another counterpart country, for example, like in France, they have discovered a few things. Okay. Okay. Let's be finish first with the learning outcome. Okay. I excited to do for this topic. To number two, link the each cultural sphere with the current business scenario. Okay. And then the third one, we analyze the competitive advantage created by the cultural spheres. And the next one, evaluate the various culture spheres of the influence and the complex interaction in implementing an efficient cultural movement. Okay, let's just we start with the first one, which is the cultural spheres. Okay, so as you can see from your notes in here, they said each sphere of influence has its own set of the artifacts, such as the building and architectures, the behavior, belief, and the value. So this is the thing that been highlighted in the earlier one, which is regards to, if you can see the long notes, whereby the Michelin example, tires we made in the original country, in Japan will be separately different in France. So the culture can be distinguished based on the heritage and the history. However, it's difficult to identify which of many the spheres of culture is more dominant. So kita tak boleh nak tengok yang mana yang paling dominant mempengaruhi negara tersebut, regardless of whether there is a boundary which separate a country, company or function from one another. So in here, like I've been stated in the earlier introductions, each spheres of influence has its own set of artifacts, such as the building and architecture, behavior, belief, and values. So this influence will be deal with through external adaptation and internal integration. So for gaining competitive advantage in businesses which involve businessmen from different cultural backgrounds. So they have a few five cultural spheres of influence. The first one, we do have the regional culture, okay, and then we do have industrial culture. If you can see from the diagram in my map notes, and then we have the professional culture, functional culture, and the corporate culture. So let's we see first in the regional culture, okay. Um, okay, let's say in here, for example, likewise, the cultural differences which within the states in the country. Example, culture of the people in Kelantan and Kedah, which is a very, I can say, very prominent. They are different in terms of their dialect. Okay, they're spoken. Okay, and even though both are located in Malaysia, for example, people residing in Kedah place more emphasis on their main contributions. So Kedahan, can I say that Kedahian? Okay, so more people in Kedah, they are more on men's contribution. So men's will be earning more income compared to like in Kelantanis. They are men are more relying on women talk. So when we say this might be uh involving controversial issue, right? But this is the fact, okay? And there is even a market in Kelantan which is predominated by the woman. So meaning to say, in Kelantan itself, the woman is um actually the higher in earning income. Okay, like you see, can see like Pasar Siti Khadijah, okay, Pasar Khadijah Market. You can see mostly the woman is how to say dominant, predominant in the woman compared to the men. Like in Kedah, it's mostly majority by the men itself. So this is what we call as regional culture. So regional culture refers to the spatially defined communities that share values, attitude, opinion, lifestyle, symbols, and behavior. They are unique to the particular community. So if you turn to page, if you see a long notes in 22, so there are some the result in the revolution whereby the factors of the regional revolution that are based on the history, politics, economics, language, religion, and geography. So this is totally based on regional evolution. So for example, like history, okay, they stated here in Perak was the peak development in the past due to mining activity. So to those we already learned these things during our history subject, historical subject sejarah, during our what we call secondary school, and you can realize or not, they are also very good in terms of the vast resources, such as a plantation. That's why you can see that we have the Cameron Highland, which is located in Perak, and also we have limestone hills. Okay, and because why during that time, a long time ago, this is whereby the place they've been colonized by British, tempat yang menjadi tempat jajahan British. And the British settlement in Perak also brought the glory and fame to the state. So we can see also like in Perak itself, they have like Teluk Anson, and now which we noted as Teluk Intan. But before this, they have Teluk Anson, and because the name itself is represent like a British colonized name, and you can see also a lots of the historical buildings, okay, located in there, okay. And also we have that Menara Condong, if I'm not mistaken, also located in Perak, if I'm not mistaken. Please recheck for me on that. And also number two, we have politics. So they also give the example on Perak again, state politics in Perak has always been stable due its loyalty to Barisan Nasional. I think that this one is quite controversial. Okay. So I think right now politics is in Malaysia quite chaos, because that's why you can see that our nowadays our products, I mean like our, yeah, people in prime news right nowadays, um people nowadays, okay, because complaining about the hike up of the price in the market, right? So due to the majority of the investor, the company from outside, for example, like in Japan, okay, in the another ASEAN countries, they feel like it's quite risky to invest in Malaysia due to the political instability. Disebabkan politik yang tidak stabil. So in a few years we have like quite replacing our frequently replacing prime minister. So they have a lot of controversial on that. So I think that politics in here is maybe representing of not only India but other countries too. Okay, so I think that not so stable right now. Okay, alright. And the third one, economy, tin mining, trading, tourism, and many other activities have been developed to make me Perak. I believe on the, if you can say against in politics, I might believe on the parts of like their kings enforcement and ruling. Okay, due to we have like Raja Nazrin who lead the Perak. That one is undeniable. So, but in terms of the politics itself, I think that they have lots of the controversial to start stable enough. Okay, for the economy, tin mining, okay, trading, tourism, and many other activities have been developed to make Perak a developed state. So Perak evolution mainly lies in the vast natural resources which have been generating profit and stability. I think not only Perak, it's also like Melaka, also one of the, we can say proudly to present the historical state, okay, and a lot of the tourists coming to Melaka and so do other countries due to this yeah, by generating tourism industry. Okay, and then for the language, I think that the state emphasized on English as one of the languages which need to be learned also, has also made Perak more developed than states like Kelantan and Terengganu, which put more emphasis on the Malay language. So I think that not only Perak but another state too also looking into like, but bear in mind, student, like Kelantan and Terengganu, the I think that is not like the problem in here, but they put like more on like uh Jawi languages in a part of their billboard and also signboard, okay. And even though you can realize or not, they emphasize on the Malay language, even though other races that living in Kelantan and also in Terengganu, even though in Kedah, if I'm not mistaken, I'm very proud, when we see like a Chinese Indian, they're able to spoke like a Kelantanese and Terengganu language, which is like uh if you go to Indonesia, mostly Chinese and other races living in Indonesia, they're able to speak Indonesian languages. Okay, so meaning to say when Dutch, okay, Belanda colonized in Indonesia, they're able to make sure everybody, people living in Indonesia, can speak well in Indonesian language. So I believe this is something like to be proud of. Okay, and yeah, of course English is as a lingua franca, but at the same time we have to say that why not we make this Malay language as our uh proudly languages, okay. And then something to be proud, okay. Even though if you realize other, I seen in the video YouTube, other races, not other races but other citizens, okay, they do take third language in their university as choosing this bahasa Melayu, but they call as like bahasa Malaysia, saya bahasa Melayu in their university. They offered as the third language, and they're really proud to like deliver and present that for you and everything. So why not, if our generation right now is not proudly to present our language, our Malay language, why not we now take the Malay language as the things that we have to proud. Okay, and then religion, Perak official religion is similar. I do not know why this text is proudly to. Maybe the author is come from Perak, so they keep on mentioning highlight on this Perak similar to other state in Asia. Even though religion does not play a big role in the evolution of Perak, it helps Perak deal effectively with other states which have the adopted Islam and other Muslim countries. Okay, and the last one we saw for as the geography. Okay, so the state is located strategically along the Straits of Malacca. Okay, so this is because on that particular things, this encourage trading activity and the promotion of the beach. Okay, so beach mean here pantai bukan beach tu. And yeah, what else? They say in here island. So we can say Tioman Island, Redang Island. So that is the tourist destination for the Perak. And I think that if I'm wrongly putting into which this island, I'm so sorry. Okay. So and you can see in here the cultural influence according to area can be divided into two categories within national borders and beyond national borders. So, what is within national borders? Okay, so it said like here, they are two divided. Okay, in here, like they give like operating business in the state of Kelantan is different from operating in the state of Selangor. So, example, retail stores in Kelantan they have to provide separate payment counter for males and females, so they have brothers and sisters, which is not case in Selangor. So they do have that. And sometimes eating also in the restaurant, brothers, sisters, if I'm not mistaken. And so not in Selangor, okay? And also in another different country, causing cultural differences. For example, they have not thoughts like South Korea, North Korea, East-West divide as East Germany and West Germany. This is due to the war happened a long time ago. So South Korea is regarded as more liberal. Liberal means like in like United States and welcoming to the visitors compared to North Korea, which is ruled by very strict regime and is quite conservative in dealing with outsiders. Yeah, it's true. And even until now, okay, so they have that in North Korea itself, they have a very strict regime due to, I believe, because they cannot totally like liberalism, because they anti with US. They are not like in the same how to say best forever friends country. No, so they're not actually accepting and welcoming outsider like what South Korea. So that's why you can see, I believe students, some of you in here are K-pop fans and lover. Um, how the way on how this South Korea is whereby we have K-pop wave, right, in the film, in the industry and entertainment industry is really come from and derived from the US country. And if we compare to the North Korea, they are very conservative. They still maintaining this is how it's looked like the Korea before it divided into two. Okay. And if we look at the history, Malaysia also some of the divided into several confederated, non-confederated states. For example, confederated states such as Perak and Selangor enjoy better economic development than non-confederated states such as Perlis and Kedah. So also they have some like if you see and refer to page 24 in your London students, you can see in here the example of the country with more than one division. For example, like Portugal, they divided into two. They have north south, which is Lisbon and Oporto. Language Arabic influence in the Oporto language. Whereby in India is divided into three. We have Mumbai, New Delhi, and Kolkata. So Mumbai, they are more on business and or commercial center. And then we do have the administrative center for the New Delhi and cultural and art center is Kolkata. So like companies located in Kuala Lumpur, Paris, London or Tokyo, for example, they have much different from the companies located in the smaller city or urban areas. So if you can see most MNC company, multinational companies such as Toyota and Honda, they are known to be the very catalysts of the economy of villages. So this company operate factory to manufacture car parts in the rural area in United Kingdom and United States. Even though like Malaysia, we used to have like Proton city which is located in what we call some counterparts in Perak, right? If I'm not Tanjung Malim, yeah, Tanjung Malim. There is the rural area whereby I remember Tun Mahathir is open up this rural area to give some like job opportunity, and at the same time to make sure that the proton can be assembled their own production there. And if you see in terms of the corporate culture, like Michelin, a leading tire company in France, managed to preserve the image as a leading producer in the world. Okay. And Michelin also recruits engineers from the local universities in the said area and is very careful about protecting the secret of its product development. So with the firm opens a branch abroad, it chooses isolated and rural site. For example, like in Japan, location of a new branch, this is a part of Michelin culture in order to preserve the operation system of the business and the knowledge involved in the product development. So the reason is why they want to actually keep on their secret, trade secret yang kita namakan macam satu rahsia lah dalam penemuan pembangunan tayar yang sangat bagus ya. Alright, and then when we have also the beyond national borders, what's mean beyond national borders? Okay, based on the research by Ronan and Schenker, 1985, the world may be divided into several clusters of countries and independent based on their relative cultural similarities. So, for example, clustering of this country help managers to understand and the similarities and difference between the countries. So you can see in the table, page 26, yeah, student. They have a few of the country, Germany, Nordic, Near East Arab, Far East, and we have Latin America, Latin Europe, Anglo, and Independent. They have the country is categorized by them. Okay. So, like even like Malaysia also, we located in the Far East or Southeast Malaysia, its population mostly comprised Malay. The Malay ethnic and linguistic heritage cross national border to include other countries of Far East Asia, such as Brunei, Indonesia, Thailand, and so on. So means that when we spoke in Malay, other countries might be understood it not so well, but our similarity is like two feather loops together, something like that. So means that the country has similar cultural practices using hand when we eating, taking off shoes off, and when we entering house, and yeah, we respecting the elderly. We bow a little bit when we want to go through, pass through them. So in other country, there might be something to be wonder why you have to bow, but in Japan, they respecting people by bowing, right? So do with us like little bit, but not 90 degrees, right? Okay. So industry culture. Okay, what is this? Um, it's like a different industry. We have a different culture due to nature of decision making, nature of product services, rate of technology change, and state intervention and market characteristic. Okay. So for example, like they used to give like in the page 28, like in banking industry, they have customer driven and sales oriented versus insurance industry. They used to have performance driven. Okay. And workers who emphasize on the client network and workers who are more aggressive in securing clients individually. So they have two, even though it's under one roof, but the banking industry will be have like um, customer driven sales oriented. But for insurance, they have also their ultimate goals, which is client network, performance driven, and aggressive in securing clients individually. Okay, for the third one, we do have the professional culture. What's mean by professional? So it's related to the principle of the workers. So for example, like doctors, lawyers, all grade A professional, engineer, consultant, designer, and scientist. So mostly when we're talking about professional culture, they also include as the proper behavior and distinct image of the profession. For example, in United States and Malaysia, for example, professionals such as a doctor or lawyer are not allowed to advertise their services through the mass media. Professionals also have their own dress code which reflect their profession. So if you have white coat and judge wear a black robe refer to the figures, you can see how does it look like? Professional also differ in their value and belief. For example, medical doctors and lawyers differ in their vision and method. So they're not allowed. If you want to say that I am Dr. Shalina, so it's not allowed. This means like doctor in medical, right? Not doctor like in university. Okay. Um, what is the connection the professional and national culture? For instance, uh, we can get the best medical expert from the United States, trained engineer from France, computer expert from India, and so on. So if you're watching a movie, Indian movie, you can realize that how skillful they are in this kind of computer expert because of this. So the difference between general and specific skill is becoming an important issue in determining which the level of professionalism is higher. So how do their professional acquire judgment? So in here they said they have three methods: intensive training, supervision, and socialization. So if you can see from here, they have a few of the various universities. For example, for those who are employee being trained in University Malaya has perspective which is different from an employee trained in University Science Malaysia. Meanwhile, from international perspective, Professor John Van Lennart, a professor from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. I think that I maybe pronounce it wrongly. Massachusetts. The MBA graduate trained at Harvard are more likely to have generalist approach and work well in team. On the other hand, MBA graduate trained at MIT are more likely to be specialists and perform well in individual assignment. So that is they have personal perspective as well as in Malaysia when you are graduates from University Petronas is something like wow, you've been has some like different perspective from the public. Okay. So functional culture we do have two divisions, production divisions, which is mostly they are active and operate using energy to produce products, whereby for financial divisions they are more quieter and they are not require much physical energy. They are only just static, manipulate the number rather than machines, right? So if you go to finance and account department, you can see you can just the silence, Okay, so it's like quite boring. Yeah. And for the corporate culture, what is the corporate culture? Corporate culture is something like blend of the value, belief, taboos. Taboos ni satu myths lah, kepercayaan, simbol, rituals and myths of all company develop over time. It is influenced by the industry, business and product of the given company. So they have the corporate culture derived from the influence of the following elements, for example, founding figures and turnaround leaders. Okay, so the founder of company play important role in making company a success. The founder influence the shape and company go to through of his or personal value and belief. So, like example, we have late Anita Roddick. So this is the founder for Body Shop. Demonstrated her personal value in her action to innovation and strong sense of social responsibility. Okay, I believe that Body Shop is using organic sources. Okay, no killing animals for their sources. Okay, and then leaders can also influence and change the culture, like Sir John Harvey Jones, for the to change the meaning of empirical chemical industry ICI to innovative competitive engineering. That one is might be new knowledge for me. And the second one, unique company history and stage of the development. For example, like Ford control was highly centralized. We know that Ford company is the first company who invented the car, right? By Henry Ford. And we also have like such a corporate culture of BMW and Audi, which is influenced by the German engineering and the culture of McDonald's, which was established in the United States. Right. And also we do have like corporate culture and also cause like difficulty. For example, like Disney, which managed to attract many tourists to Disneyland. California opened two other Disneyland branches in Japan and France. Disneyland in Tokyo was unsuccessful that were visited by 15 million tourists in 1998. Meanwhile, Disneyland in France was less successful due to the culture of the European who find it hard to accept foreign culture, particularly American culture. So as the result, French Disneyland sustained losses amounting to 1.5 billion in 1994. So these losses not only brought failure to Disneyland, but also made a long-term impact on Disney effort to establish itself in the country. The failure to adapt the corporate culture of the organization according to the culture of particular country not only creates minor problem but can bring a huge impact to the organization, such as illustrated in Disney example. Okay, so meaning to say, not all are accepting. Okay, not all accepting. So I give example when movie like Harry Potter, when this I don't remember the author, but it's like this guy, okay, publishing this book, and they try to publish in China. This book is get some like what we call controversial in China market, in Chinese market, because the reason why for them in this book, for example, like they are controversial with issue like you know, they are not believe on the myths. So mostly United States, they have more on imaginations on like uh what we call like on imagination of enjoyment as the kids. Okay, myths is more on myths. Dia lebih kepada macam benda-benda yang kita kata yang lebih kepada myths lah, benda-benda yang mistik dan sesuatu yang tidak betul sebenarnya. So in Chinese market, like China market, the Chinese majority combat this belief, okay, because they are more on um what we call belief on we have to obey with the countries, the ruling of the government. So like the books, apa buku yang saya sebut tadi tu, the books is really not be accepted. Kan kalau you tengok buku-buku yang Rowan Collins, if I'm not mistaken, the name of that guy. So this book is not get some like accepted because of the mixed culture. So that's the reason if they have to actually how to say ban this book rather than to be selling to the kids. Kan macam kita kata buku-buku yang kalau kita kat Malaysia kita boleh accept tau filem-filem yang datang daripada luar, daripada Disney dan sebagainya. Tapi di China benda ni agak sesuatu yang sangat kontroversi sebab ia melibatkan pengaruh kanak-kanak tu sendiri. Okay, saya sebut apa tadi, macam even like story macam Merlin kan, yang tu macam tak terima lah kalau macam buku-buku yang ada unsur-unsur yang tahyul lah, kita panggil niche tu macam tahyul, dia tak terima benda tu. Even kita pun, tapi kita taklah 100% percaya kan, tapi pada mereka benda tu sesuatu yang melanggar dari segi kepercayaan itu. Dan kanak-kanak seawal umur 6 tahun tu perlu percaya kepada undang-undang negara, lebih kepada leadership, kepimpinan. Baru mereka jadi orang yang berjaya, yang willing to protect the country. Bayangkan. Jadi kalau kita sematkan ada rasa macam tu pada rakyat Malaysia, I believe that every kids in Malaysia also will be like, they are more patriotic, to have like protecting countries. Okay. Kita tak macam tu. Okay. Alright. So the last part it will be on the creating competitive advantage, interacting spheres. So they said they have like giving example like Proton Holding, which form a partnership with Mitsubishi. They share in the former partnership, for example, to strengthen the competitive advantage. Proton Inspira ni dah lama dah. Proton Inspira with Proton Mitsubishi Lancer. Still remember the partnership between the company, different approach, but they share the same spheres. So I think that this is a good thing lah. Bila kita bergabung, kita sharing. Further with the Proton nowadays, the RB Highcom will be, as you know, that being bought by the Chinese investor, they put some like elegant design it through every single, like you can see, like proton 70, proton that's 50, and now the upcoming next 90, right? So they see some like a new images on this kind of our local car and been upgrade. But the bad news is because we've been bought by this Chinese investors, so they are dominantly now in order to save our uh proper local proper company stuff. Okay. So I hope that this video is succeed and can be uh helping you all. Okay. I hope that thank you for today, and I will give like to the exercise for today topic 2. You may do that. Okay, bye bye. Assalamualaikum and thank you.